Asu, you are welcome on Jomo Kevin TV.
Yes.
Um, I would like to start talking with you about your experiences. There was this wonderful interquarter competition played in Kumba in the 80s. You had teams like Dieblingham, Saint Etienne, Village People, Santos, which brought up a crop of players in the southwest, not only Kumba. Can we can you take us? You were a member of one of these teams. Can you take us memory lane?
Yes, of course, sir. I remember when during the I think 82 or something like that. During the 80s, yeah. So I played with Saint Etienne with some famous players like Fon Elad. Started at the Sacred Heart Field, Fiango. Then they moved it from there. They took it to to the government primary school, Kumbatown. That's where the tournament ended. And then somewhere played at Town Green also. I remember. So we had some great players like. Had teams like Saint Etienne, we had late Comet George, Efon Ella, then this guy is in front, we'll call him JC. Then we had Village People, we had late Georgie. He was, I should call him that guy player in Kumba during our time when we were still like, he was the best because technically he was the best. He was the best. We were all finding Edwin that we got from the tournament also, who played with Village People. Then he went to play with, I think, Brazil, something like that. Then Giorgio was from Village People. Then we had Boningo. Boningo was also an active player during our time.
Were people like Echike on the scene at that time?
Okay. No, for Foniland, late comment. Then
what?
Yeah, late Echike. Thank you very much.
And maybe the Ndefis, were they active at the time?
Joseph, he was playing, I think, with Nassar or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And one of the Ndefis, McDonald?
Yeah, Pius Devi was really active. Oh, Devi Pius and McDonald, they called them Diego and Kempes. Those guys they were also, they were also talented during our time. Then with me, who was also trying that time. So that tournament brought out a lot of good players, a lot of talented guys who even played right up to national level, even if I don't make a mistake.
Yeah. What would you say? The tournament, you think it was a platform for most of you to showcase your talents and go further in football?
Of course. That was really the platform. That was where we all began. All those guys who played with PWD and some played with Kamakuma. We all began from that tournament during the 80s. And thank God some of them, they went so far. Some were injury. They were cut off, through injury and then through injuries. And then some, I don't know how they ended. So that was really the platform, sir. That was really the platform.
And from there, before people knew, some of you were in clubs, some in Kamak, some in PWD Kumba, but you were heard in Indian. How did it happen that you left all the way from Kumba, while all the others were settling in Kumba, you found yourself in Indian?
Okay, yeah. So let me take you a little bit back. So I was first in Yaoundé, then I heard of Mukoko and then Noko Victor that they are now good footballers back in Kumba. So there was a holiday that I came down and then I saw this guy playing. So I attended Francourt. Then from Francourt, I went to Ndian. When I came to Ndian, that was where, the whole hell came down. That was where I exploded because my mom I was always under control. My mom never wanted me to go to the field to play. So when they sent me to Ndian, that was where, I started football there from third division. I took them from third division right up to the second division level where we ended. My last year with them, we ended third in the league.
And
I remember all memories. I still get them in my mind.
You still remember some of the guys with whom you played Indian Rivers?
Yes, of course. We had great names like Eno Michael, we called him Abedi. We had Alban Wosu, we had Yakubu Usman. That was one of our best also. We had Smart Basi, the number 9 share. We had Dennis Ngute, who today of police, the goalkeeper. Then this Akama Sinte was also part of our team. So, and we guys were so used to playing among ourselves because we're all students. So we took some few elements. Smart Basi, he was a mechanic, something like that, an engineer. Then we had one other good defender that they called Langasing. That were the two foreign bodies who were playing with us.
How were you managing school and second division, especially when the club went up?
Yeah, it was really difficult to manage that. It was really difficult because sometimes we go right up to Limbe to play, and then back to November. It's really hard to go with education and then with football at the same time. It's really difficult, like being in Africa, you know.
But Indian Rivers, despite that you were students, you made a lot of waves. Can you still remember some memorable matches that Indian Rivers played and they're still on your mind today?
W of Kumba, the great, at Company Field. That is one of the matches that I will never forget in my life. Then we played also against Elexpo in Mundemba, then against Opopo, where we won by 3-0. The match against PW Kumba, when the Kumba Stadium was suspended and they were playing now at something like Company Field. So we met them there. That was a match that had it been there were some cameras like today, like it would have been, we got them under our armpits with all those stars that they had, like Ashu Jong, Ashu James, later Jebe. I mean, that team was a very great team, talented. They had even Domche. Domche was there. I remember that match we played. Domche was there.
How was your transition from Indian Rivers to Kamak of Kumba?
Yeah, thank you. My transition from Jan Rivers to Kamakuma was a difficult one, but I decided to go. So I came to Kamakuma, and Kumba, then that was bad. I was in the team. So the next year, most of the great players like Tua, like Chamon, they all left and then went to some other second division teams or some first division teams. So we stayed there and then tried to put Kamak back in place. So I played again with the Fonella before he could leave for Opopo. Yeah, so we struggled with young guys like Orok Jonas. We tried, it didn't work. So I had to transfer to go to another team. So that was how my career with Kamakuma ended. Also.
And you were moving from Kamakuma to which team this time?
I was bought over by Kamak Bamenda in the Premier League, like in the first division. So I played in Kamak Bamenda for one season. I came there, the team was not even doing good. So we tried, so we were relegated. So from there, I came back to the province and I was with no team. Then came Opopo when they had one friendly match with the Union of Douala. So they came, we tried to negotiate. PWD came, so I had to connect them to two players. When PWD Bamenda came to get me, I had to connect Ndefi and McDonald's to them, because I never wanted to go to play back to the Northwest province. So when Bahare came, they tried to negotiate with me. I said, no, I'm no more going back to the Northwest. I want to play in the province. So Opopo came, they had a friendly match. I had to go with Opopo. I played with Opopo. Before that match, I was asking a little sum of money. So it didn't work out. So I played the friendly match and there was me taken to Douala. I was bought over by Union de Douala. So that's how I left.
So, but tell me, before we go to Douala, when you were with Kamakumba, Kamakbamenda, and Opopo, did you have any opportunity to be called up, like for the junior national team?
Yes, of course. I was already with the junior national team. So I was called up and then we went there, we tried our best. But every time that we were about to go out for one or two tournaments, I always have an injury. I was always left behind. So that is how people never saw me on the screen. Every time we were about to go, I was always injured. So that is how my career, my career was a really difficult one. I was called
up. You were called up from which of the teams?
I was called up from Kamakuma. All my called ups from Kamakuma. Then the one with the under 14 with late George Esame, interprovincial, that we were all playing against other provinces. I was always called up by George Esame also. That was when I was playing with Jan Rivers Football Club. Then with Kamakuma, I was called up for the junior national team. I went there, was selected, we're there with the Dream, Isapayo, late Yemba Jeffrey, late Chike Joseph, so rest in peace. Shimon Nestor is from Tico also. We all both played in Kamakumba. Then we both played also in Kamakbamenda First Division. So I was always called up by Shinyoga.
Yeah, yes. And how did you feel? How were you going through it? Every time you were called up and you had to wear the national colors, you were injured. Did anything? How did you take it?
I took it very normally. I just knew, okay, that's destiny, but some other guys, some other friends around, I mean, not players like those that we came from the same area, they were telling, oh, you have to go to the village so that it should tie you. You have to, the normal, you have to do some jabu in football, you have to do all this in football. I've never done that in my life. I never, to do occultism in football. I never did that. My power was training because I copied from players like Ashu Taku. I copied from players like Tabi Black. So I saw a lot of great players in Kumba. So I never went to take any leave or juju. So that was just my destiny in football, that I will end this way.
Now you went to Union Douala. How was it? What was your experience in Union Douala?
My experience in Union Douala was wonderful, loved by the fans. We played one great match, and then the next one I was down. It's really painful. I don't like talking about it most of the times, but because it's very painful. So when I was about Musa Kalon tried, I was about to go to Olympique de Marseille. Yeah. So Mohamed Kone came, and this other guy, they sent some agents to come get me. So when they were already there, I handed my passport. This connection was done by Musa Kalon. So I was about to travel, then again.
Injury.
That was why I started being so discouraged with football. And yeah, again, badly injured.
But Ashu, tell me, your mother seems to have always been at the center of your football life. What would you say about that? Because I remember the time you were leaving Dian Rivers and coming over to Kumba. I was one of the agents of PW Kumba running behind you, and your mother played a determining role for you not to play in PW Kumba. Chief Ngasa of late, may his soul rest in peace, finally beat me to the game and had you in Kamak of Kumba. And I always believed that your mother played a very vital role in your career of football. What would you say about that?
Yes, may I so peace. I will start saying like that. I will start saying that. May I so rest in peace. She was the backbone of my football because I lost my dad when I was so young, so I was so used to her. And at first, she was really like disturbing. She was like, I never wanted you to play. If I'm playing, she would bring a very big pot. I need to go fetch water for her. So I would get that pot, I would run and then fetch water, running, coming back home, drop the water, then running back to St. The stadium was so close to our house. I mean, like the National High School field. So it was really difficult. Then later on, she saw that this guy is so serious about it. Then she started advising me, giving me some advice. And that was how she told me, you are not a PWD. And then we were being threatened also. People threatened us that they will burn our house if I don't play for, I was threatened also. Yeah. There were some threats from yeah, there were some threats from some people. They told me, you were born in Fiango, your father was the HM of PS Fiango, so you have to play here. You don't have to dare go and play in PWD, they will burn down your house. So, but all those things, but that never threatened me because I knew where I'm going to play. I was a Kamak fan. I was like a Kamakumba child, like the son of Kamakumba. So I took an oath since from childhood that I would play because during break time when they were training sometimes after school, I will not go home. I will sit there and be watching them playing like Pa Afrique, all those Kuma and all those great players that we had, Mbayo, Nambile and all the rest, Mr. Nambile and all the rest. So I watched them play right in front of my own eyes like this. I was a little guy watching them playing at our own school field. That was where Kamakuma was training. So I fell in love with the team. I had it in mind that I wanted to play there. So with all those threats, they did anything to me. But there was a time I wanted to play also with PWD Kumba. There was a time that I started feeling, no, maybe I should play with PWD. It was difficult. The time I decided to come join them, but I had to go again somewhere else to play.
How was Mama feeling when she saw you succeeding, at least playing in a team like Union Douala?
Mama felt good, but she was always frightened. She was always frightened. Like there was a time when we were coming back from a football match with Jan Rivers. We played in Limbe, and then we had a car accident. Then one of our colleagues died.
Oh.
And that match we played, I never wanted her to even know that I left Wondemba and went to Limbe without even coming. So from that time, she was very, very frightened. She was always scared. Always. There was never a time that she said, oh, everything is fine. No, she was always scared. I remember also in Limbe, she stepped in the stadium to stop one football match that we played in Jan Rivers against one other team like that. So Mom was just mad.
How did she do that? How did that happen?
So, okay, I never knew she was in Limbe. So we came to Limbe to play against Rumpy Strikers of Ekondo Chichi. It was our match from 3rd division. If you qualify, then you go to the second division league. So I never knew that she was in Limbe. She had her brother was a gendarme who fell sick. So she was in the hospital with the brother. So when in Limbe, someone went and told her that, I think my uncle, late Mr. Eyong, the one who played the power camp.
Mm-hmm.
So they went and told her that, do you know that your son will be playing here? When the match was just about to begin, then my mom came, and that was all. They begged, our executive were there begging. So Mama, no, after this, even my principal was there, late Mr. Miller, he was there also. They talked, she sat there and said, no football match here today. My son's no. It was really difficult. So I promised her, okay, after the football match, I will go home and go back to school and stuff like that.
So in the end, you didn't play. You didn't play that match.
So
you didn't play that match.
I played, and she was really surprised. That was the first time she even saw me rolling. Like chipping soccer. She was really surprised how. It was really a surprise for her. She stood there watching for some time, but she was always scared. Like when in an airborne duel, she was always like so scared. Maybe I will fall, I will break my leg, and all those things. She always told me, "You are going to break your leg." That never happened, though it happened later on after she died. So that's one of the.
Did you try football again, maybe at professional level when you left Cameroon?
Yeah, after Union Douala, I came back to province. I played with the Popo. Yeah, I qualified them, and then we went for the Interpols. So I came in the second half. My first touch, I've tried, no way. Even when I came to Russia, there's no way. Russia here was worst time. Really, you can't play here without having documents.
That's true.
And then it was difficult to integrate also blacks. It was difficult before. Yeah, I played by some university games here. So I was the best player for about seven years. But playing with no club. Everyone was really surprised when they rushed out. Is this guy not playing with some first division club? But to integrate me. And never did. So that's how my career just got finished and just living a normal life.
Yeah, I hope a footballer, president of the Cameroon Football Federation. What is your take about that?
Oh yes, that post that Eto got is a very nice post. He's young. He's very popular. This is the new generation. This guy, he will take the Cameroonian national team very far. I think he's going to kick away a lot of corruptions and everything, and give to Caesar what is Caesar. That's what this guy is going to do, I believe, because people believe in him. So he's going to bring out the best in Cameroonian football. So being a tool that like the mega tool that everybody knows. So I think that is a good choice that Cameroonians have made. They should just support him so that he brings up. Cameroon should take something like a World Cup. Why not? Why not? So he will bring out the best from that football federation, and then people should be expecting, I mean, like good performances from the national team right now.